You cannot have a clogged up artery without there being damage there first. There's just no way around that.
And it all has to stop. I mean, really, all of it. I can't eat, I'm not allowed now to eat sausages, bacon, beef, pork, lamb, anything fried. Apparently egg yellows are bad.
Okay, so we have TV host and journalist Jeremy Clarkson. We're all very familiar with this guy over here in the UK. I'm pretty sure most people will recognise this guy around the world as well. He's basically presenting with cardiovascular symptoms and health problems, and so we'll give this a watch and I'll just pause here and there to provide a bit of input.
Strangely enough, TikTok saved my life. I woke up last week and didn't feel very well, which is no big deal, and I had tightness in my chest. I went to work as normal, collected the pigs, brought them back to the farmyard. And I was waiting for the lorry to come and sort of scrolling idly on my phone and got pins and needles. And then I thought, hang on a minute, pins and needles, tightness in your chest and the clamminess, that sounds like a heart attack as a result.
Better safe than sorry. Definitely go and get it checked out.
Of which called the doctor, and then it wasn't a heart attack. But while they were testing for a heart attack, they found my arteries were all blocked. So if I hadn't have been scrolling on my telephone...
Most people are probably thinking, animal fat, cholesterol, too much salt maybe, all this kind of stuff. Let's keep watching.
In such a way that my arm got pins and needles, I never would have put two and two together and never would have called the doctor and never would have gone to hospital. So I'm very lucky to live near Oxford. So I went in an ambulance, which means you get zoomed straight in. And they did 6 or 7 tests, I think, to determine whether I'd had a heart attack, and discovered that I wasn't having one and I hadn't had one. And then they did one last test and I had my coat on ready to go home and put me into what looked like an enormous polo mint, and were able to see straight away that you've got 3 arteries that feed your heart. I'm sure a lot of people watching this and listening to this will know all about this. But there are 3 arteries that feed your heart, and mine...
I thought actually it was just the left main coronary artery and the right main coronary artery. Unless he's talking about an additional arterial structure, I'm not too sure. But
mine were like the sort of things you see dangling from the roof of a cave in the Peak District. I mean, they were just calcified, fat-filled, totally impregnable stalactites. But they put a stent in, and 2 stents, in fact. And here I am. I didn't lead a healthy lifestyle at all. I work very hard and I play very hard. I gave up smoking 7 years ago, but I used to smoke 60 a day, the red ones. And I drank 3 or 4 pints of wine every day. And,
they're most likely your culprits right there. Drinking, smoking can damage your blood vessels. You cannot have a clogged up artery without there being damage there first. There's just no way around that. It has to be damaged, and so smoking and drinking will damage your blood vessels like it damages many cells and tissues and organs in the body. And so this is why you'll find cholesterol being deposited there. It's like a band-aid. The body's actually trying to help you. It's nothing to do with cholesterol in and of itself. Red meat, eggs, we've eaten this stuff for hundreds of thousands of years.
I go to 2 or 3 parties a week, and I really do push it, and it all has to stop. I mean, really, all of it. I can't eat, I'm not allowed now to eat sausages, bacon, beef, pork, lamb, anything fried. Apparently egg yellows are bad. Drink is out.
Egg yellows, egg yolks, nature's vitamin pill. Let's stop that, yeah. It's the fact that he's got his own farm now, and so he's quite clued up from that aspect of things, but he doesn't know nutrition-wise, what is food, what isn't. When he hears this kind of advice from perhaps a nutritionist or a doctor, he's bought it. He hasn't even questioned it. He's like, yep, there's cholesterol that's clogged up my arteries, and so I need to cut back on not only drink and smoking, but in the same sort of category, red meat and full-fat dairy, the egg yolks, pork. Without cholesterol circulating in your blood, you would not be here. Right? Life is not possible without cholesterol. It's so important that if you don't consume it, your body will make it. But actually, it doesn't make enough, because so many of these vegans, they lose their periods. They develop PCOS because we synthesize our hormones out of this stuff. You can inject cholesterol and saturated fats straight into the vessel and it won't just get clogged up. That's not how it works. And so there has to be damage there first. And so obviously drinking and smoking, cut that out. Processed foods, excess sugar, seed oils, glyphosate, all of that nonsense, cereal in the morning. This is the stuff that causes the damage. It's not red meat. You go out in the world right now, if you don't catch meat, it's hasta la bye-bye, pretty much. So
the list is endless. It's really everything you'd ever want to eat. Cadbury's fruit and nut bars, I was addicted to those, gone.
Well, sure, that's fine. highly processed, full of sugar. The nuts and the raisins aren't actually good for you. It's basically sugar, indigestible fibre, anti-nutrients. Cut that stuff out, but stop thinking along the lines of cutting food out, like real nourishment, like grass-fed lamb and beef, eggs with the yolk. That's absolutely insane that he's bought this. He's been duped.
So you are faced, and I know, literally millions of people face this every single day, well, every year, I suppose, when they're suddenly told, right, that's it. You must now live like a liberal Democrat. And here I am, I had a yogurt for breakfast with some blue.
It's time to start living like a king, isn't it, really? If your health is in a crisis, you need to eat steak and eggs and get rid of all the toxic crap, the excess sugar, the seed oils. Of course, when you're drinking and smoking every day, that's causing chronic systemic inflammation. Cholesterol's being delivered and deposited exactly where it needs to be. It's doing it for a good reason. You need to cut out the poisonous habits, not eating food.
In it, and an apple for my lunch. And tonight I can have prawns, so I shall have some prawns in an avocado and water, which is disgusting.
So prawns are great. Protein, minerals, bit of DHA and EPA. But you really do want more fat. But this is the whole point, isn't it? He's been deterred from the fat. Except for, he's just said avocado. Interesting that that's a very high fat food, right? But it's the healthy fats, and so that's okay. So it's very interesting, and it's a shame that more people don't know enough to understand that perhaps the information that they're receiving is really quite harmful.
Girlfriend Lisa, she grows kale in the vegetable garden. I mean, I try to grow things that are edible, like potatoes and marrows and so on, and onions, but she's been growing kale. So she gave me a piece yesterday. It's so bitter. It's who first put that in their mouth and thought, yeah, this is what I want to live.
Nobody ever. Kale is bitter because it's toxic. If you love kidney stones, then hey, eat your kale.
And then almond milk, that's not milk. Milk comes from a cow. You can't have milk from a nut. It's nut juice.
It's a load of water with a little bit of cyanide and sea salt in there.
And it tastes like marzipan, which is one of only two things I literally can't eat. And then somebody said, yogurt's good for you. And I thought, well, yogurt's not so bad. I remember ski yogurts from when I was a kid,
You can guarantee it's low-fat yogurt, so why would that be healthy? Low-fat yogurt, we've just got rid of essential fatty acids and fat-soluble vitamins. Now we're left with casein and whey protein, which isn't preferable over sort of proteins from ruminant meat or eggs. And then you've just got all this lactose, but of course it's pasteurised, so there's no B vitamins, there's no vitamin C, and there's no lactase to facilitate the lactose digestion. It's amazing what people buy. It's just deception at the end of the day.
All right. Anyway, they brought me some Greek yogurt. What on earth is that? You can't eat that. But bit by bit, as the week goes on, I'm finding things you can. Apples, for example, are quite nice.
Probably because they're sweet. It's just sugar. You basically got hardly any B vitamins in an apple, less vitamin C than liver, no essential fatty acids or amino acids. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I don't think so. It might give you diabetes.
And that's going to be that. I mean, TV, I'm only doing the farm show and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at the moment, but I write 3 newspaper columns every week, and I have a brewery, a pub, a shop. All right, my books, or collate my books, I should say. I've got a lot of jobs. I think I've got 10 full-time jobs at the moment. No, I'm not going to stop doing those because there's nothing wrong with my heart. My heart's fine. It's the arteries that feed it that are the problem.
Yeah, you damage them with alcohol, smoking, probably seed oils, excess sugar and processed foods and all the chemicals that they contain. Not red meat, not eggs, not butter. It's crazy. Honestly, if you want to, Jeremy, you sit down and you enjoy as much red meat and eggs with all the salt that you want. Your body will let you know when you've had enough.
And anyway, if you stop working, and I don't have a hobby, I don't play golf and I don't do watercolor painting. So, what would I do with myself if I wasn't working? It'd just rot. So no, I'm going to carry on working. Well, I can't drink, so I may as well. I mean, you're dealing with...
That was clearly his vice, He loved to smoke. He's obviously knocked that on the head. His drink is his poison, and that's what it is. It's poison, acetaldehyde and fructose, which is going to damage your liver, damage cells, damage organs, blood vessels potentially, and then you're in this situation. And the answer is not to cut out food. The answer is to cut out the poison and leave the food in.
I mean, I was going to say animals. I dealt with James May and Richard Hammond for many years, and so I get a bit of practice. But no, when your animals are sickly or dying, it's awful. It's just slightly peculiar now. I'm sitting looking out of my window here, and I can see that we got 72 sheep in this field, and I know there's another 70 in a field up over there, and then we've just got 50 new ones. And now I can't eat those, so I've now got.
He's probably almost looking at them in a different light, not like blaming them, but as like we need to moderate that as food, which is insane. This is what humans need more of for their hormones, for their mood, for their brain health, their gut health. Man, it's such a shame that even farmers don't know what food is and what food isn't.
A butcher's shop, a brewery and a pub, and I can't eat meat and I can't drink. So I suppose it's more for everyone.
Just knock the drink on the head, mate.
Life is like being given £1 million, and you can either invest it and live off the interest parsimoniously and carefully, and that's fine if you want to do that. You want to stay healthy and fit all of your life. I didn't. I just thought, right, I've got £1 million. I'm off to Ibiza and I'm going to buy a Ferrari. I just led my life like that, and now I'm going to pay the price. But I'm only living like other people have lived.
You're paying the price for over-drinking, over-smoking, over-indulging in processed foods. You're not paying the price because you ate a little bit too much red meat.
All their lives. So I'm not going to moan about it. Well, I am, but not loudly.
Okay, well, I hope you found that useful, helpful in some way. It's such a shame to see. And in many ways, he doesn't mean to, but he's kind of echoing these fallacies that we're all getting quite sick of in this space, at least, because we understand nutrition. We understand that nutrition science doesn't really exist because you can't control for things in these studies. And they're often conflating associations, correlations. They're all opinions, basically, and it's actually anti-scientific. But let us know what you think in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.